What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology retold action. In the top of the map, playing as Odin. His name is the Rapple. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Skiomi. His name is Pegasus. The map is key, and this game was played as a part of the Gerbots Japanese Joust one-day tournament. We played this one just recently on the weekend on Sunday. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, you can navigate to the description box below, and I've got the entirety of that stream of those games up in a live video, so you can take your time. It's 9 hours long. You can take your time and watch all those games as much or as little as you want. But yeah, it's over there. Check it out in the description box below. I didn't manage to cover this game live, so I was really interested in it. Rapple mentioned to me that he felt like this was one of the best series that he played on the day, so I'm pretty excited to watch what these guys are going to cook up and see. I rate Pegasus as one of the best Age Mythology players kind of ever. He's definitely in my top 10 Age Mythology players of all time. So I'm excited to see what he's gonna do. And I mean, he's also one of those players that, do I have to flip this? Maybe I should. He's also one of those players that often like hops in and out, gets kind of bored and goes does something else, and then comes back a little bit later and shows everyone's the business. Nonetheless, we are on the map key. For those of you trying to like min-max on this map, take a look at these guys scouting. Look at what Rapple's done. He literally just scouted the center of the map, and then he just comes back and look at how many cows he's got. On the other side, Pegasus, a little bit on the unfortunate side. So a little bit, unfortunately, here for Pegasus I would say a little bit of a knowledge gap to some degree, or maybe a little bit unlucky. I'm not exactly sure where he sent the kitsune at the start, but all the goats spawn, or goats, herdables, cows spawn in the center of the map on this map key. The outside of the map, you don't really need to care too much about. You know there's going to be the gold mines surrounding the outsides. You know there's going to be hunt around here as well. So you don't really need to scout that outside. Just need to figure out if you want to go for a second town center, where that is, and things like that. But realistically, there's not a lot. There's not a lot going on this map. It's kind of static, so to speak. It's kind of a static map. But we'll see. We'll see what Pegasus is going to do. He's deciding to drop a shrine over here, trying to get the gold mine and as much pine trees as he possibly can while being nice and close to defend everything. And he drops a dojo to start this game off. Now, this makes a lot of sense. You want to get this down to get yourself out the Onnamusha, so you can deal with any sort of Valkyrie shenanigans. But this is not going to be playing into the stable here, of which I don't think you need to play into. I think that the idea against Odin is scout, number one. If they're going for a whole bunch of raiding cavalry, you got to go for the Yeti Spearmen. And if they're going for berserks, then you have to go for samurai, and potentially also Yumi Archer to pick off those throwing axemen. But regardless, I don't think you actually want to go for cavalry in this matchup. And you can see already, look at how beautiful Pegasus' base is. He's got the walls up. His forest over here can get burned down, and then this can open up this position, but he'll just move to the back tree line here, no problems. As you can see, he's going to throw up some houses and a wall over here and be completely fine. In the main base here for the Rapple, he's got himself a longhouse. He's got himself a great hall. And, oh, Kitsune, run. Oh, too late. Losing this Kitsune is really, really, really bad for the Skiomi player, because while you can rebuild them, 8 favor is quite a lot, and what you probably want the most out of that favor is multiple usages of New Moon. At the moment, seems like a really good way to play. As the forest fire comes in, villagers retreating away. I think the reason for that is kind of the value you get from it is just quite a lot. I don't know. I feel like you just get quite a lot of value from the New Moon. And while 1,000 resources for a secondary cost recast of New Moon is quite a lot, so I use it on my armory, and I get full iron on that secondary cast. I'm probably gaining about 1,000 resources for it. So it's not a crazy amount more, but it is really, really well worth it. Plus you get the timings of that as well. As the raiding cavalry are now coming through, and I do think that Pegasus here should probably think about dropping a guardhouse. Going to be losing a villager over here, unfortunately. He should be thinking about dropping a guardhouse, and that'll be an answer to these raiding cavalry and all that other stuff. He's going to try and put some walls back up. Still playing a very defensive game, but he's got to be careful. As he does get the walls up now, and Rappel has to pull back. Now, another idea here is to actually go into Kitsune and get this technology in this matchup, Wonder of the Nine. And then you can actually go for raids. Now, there are Herso over on the back here, so what are you going to attack? Come in and attack this. There's a Herso over here. So you just have to be careful, but there is some room for it. As the On the Musha hits a special attack on that Valkyrie, chunking him. Look at that damage there. Chunking him for 120-ish. Yeah, 120 damage on one attack. Obviously, it's the special, but still. A couple farms coming down as Pegasus. He's playing very, very defensively. Is he going for a heroic age here? It kind of looks like he is. Another idea is... Wait, does this god also have access to... he doesn't. I was going to say another idea is to get to the heroic age and start making Raiju, but he doesn't have access to that one, so he's going to have to go for something a little bit different. As the Yuragumo comes through... Does pick up one of these Deuterinos. Throws it. Oh, Pegasus is just hanging over here. Manages to snipe that one. As she is literally just standing guard here. Just like, don't come past my forest. It's like the raid boss or whatever. Just hanging in the forest. You have to get past it. We do see the Hersa coming in. And Pegasus still not paying attention to this one. And he's getting out of position as well. He's going to lose it. No, he does pay attention. Okay. Might still lose it. It only moves at 4 speed. She's very, very slow. It's a really, really powerful unit, in my opinion. Actually deletes it there so he doesn't lose the, or give away the favor. So it's a really powerful unit. And I think it's a great counter myth unit. It's a great counter myth unit. As he does lose another villager there. Rappel's raids are so good at the moment. But that special attack, while it does do more damage than a regular attack, I think you got to be careful about when you use it. It's definitely definitely something you want to be very, very smart with. As we see Watchtowers coming up, and Pegasus here, he's trying desperately to get this heroic age off in a competitive, at a competitive rate. His armory getting taken down here is not going to be ideal at all. I'm really interested in what he's going to be going for here with this heroic age. He's going through Hachiman, so he gets like stronger, maybe stronger like horse archers as an idea here. If he drops down a stable, he's going for an army over here. If he drops down a stable, he can go into horse archer. He can drop the new moon down onto the stable after he gets medium, and that can give him get him straight up to heavy on his cavalry, and you can go horse archer, samurai, or something, and that can be a little bit difficult for the raiding cavalry to get on. They're pretty weak against the horse archers once you get enough of them, because they've got a little bit of a bonus versus cav, and they have high base damage. It's kind of like a chariot archer is kind of good versus raiding cavalry if the numbers are low type deal. But you do have to be careful if there's quite a lot of them. But if you got the samurai in, then they can be a face tank for that as well. Nonetheless, Hachiman is in. He's going to have access to Tengu as well, which can be good against those throwing axemen. So there is a unit composition that seems strong against this sort of army of like of samurai, Yumi horse archer, and Tengu. Meanwhile, Skadi is coming through for Rappel. He's going to be breaking the dojo down. We actually see some shinobi coming in, which is a little bit surprising to me. These units don't really have a great usage in this matchup. Yeah, you can use them to try and take out the throwing axemen, but if they get attacked by the throwing axemen, they'll likely die. As we see a hill fort coming down for Rappel. He's in the heroic age. He's taking the gold mine. Longhouse coming down, and Rappel is just spreading out and getting all the resources he possibly can. We'll see what Pegasus has got cooking up here. What's he got in the stable at the moment? He's got the Daimyo coming through. He's still got his new moon. Shinobi are just joining up, completely unupgraded. They look very very naked at the moment. As the Daimyo is in, so he can get himself that Shogun. Just scary for Rappel. Got to be careful against that one. Still not getting his upgrade. I'm very confused at the moment from what Pegasus's actual plan is here. He has a decent amount of units. There's not really a lot he can attack. Rappel's defenses are great. He's got the hill fort. Maybe in the main base, keep killing some villages there. As the raiding cavalry coming around. They've got their upgrade now. Taking down the dojo is going to be a lot of lost resources here as the daimyo and the tengu coming in. And immediately we see those units retreating. And Pegasus is charging in right now. As he drops the new moon technology down, he's going to get full bronze in the middle of this fight. But those throwing axemen are going to be doing so much damage here. He gets a lot of Bushido through from this, though. As you can see, that's going up as the Shogun joins in. But not the best of fights there, as the raiding cavalry now moving in to start taking down some villages. One villager down as the rest have to retreat into the town center there, but pulling back onto the gold mine now as the army is coming back. Pegasus wins out in the Bushido, but I think he loses in that fight. Now, he does have full bronze, basically, so that's really good for him. I like that usage, actually. He grabbed himself copper weapons, copper mail, and then he went for the new moon on the armory, which did give him the boost up on those Yumi horse archers, but he's not building any of them yet. And he also still needs to grab that Sashimono bannerman as a little bit of an attack over onto these villages down on the bottom. He needs that food income. He's trying to grab the hunt. Maybe a wall across the front here. It's pretty expensive to get that big wall up, or maybe a tower, like a sentry tower, so he can just garrison into it if the raids come through. That's also expensive, though. As the Raven has spotted this gold mine getting grabbed, and those raiding cavalry are going to be sending their way over there. There is some regen, actually, on the villages, because you've got that relic, Staff of Dionysus there. But no way to defend this position just yet, as he will turn around and get a little bit of a shank before coming back onto the gold mine. Meanwhile, Rappel is just slowly moving around the map. You can see him just building buildings, going to the left, going into here. He's thinking about grabbing the town center, got the market coming up. I imagine he wants the town center. He just wants to keep playing a defensive game. If this is the case and your Norse player is doing this, I think you can very well just play the same sort of style as the Japanese player, just a little bit behind, because you've got so many bonuses from Bushido that you can sort of catch up to the boosted eco from the Norse player. I think grabbing this town center, and I think your army is just going to start becoming very difficult to actually kill. As the raiding cavalry coming around, Pegasus does spot that, pulls through his thing here, and he's like, well, maybe I should move over onto the top side, just get away from these guys, get all my units up to the top. Dojo coming down for Pegasus, as well as this Tengu is trying to defend. He is a little bit awkward to use, I have to say. He's got a really, really strong fight in him. Like, his brawl is so good. If you jump in onto a throw an axeman line, gets huge stat boost. Throw an axeman will basically do no damage to him, and he's going to be in a good spot. Now, the problem here for Pegasus is how he's going to have a real tough time here against Frost. He's got to split away from the villages. Maybe splitting the villages up onto different gold mines wouldn't be a bad idea, but I imagine a Frost is just going to get dropped down here. We do see the Swampland coming in. The army charges through here. The Shogun trying to get onto this as the Frost gets dropped down. Going to be hitting next to nothing here. Well, he kind of misses the Frost. He was trying to get a half Frost down. This could be a really, really good fight here for Pegasus. And the Shogun is on top of the Frost Giant, just spamming Samurai in. Rappel is losing units left, right, and center here. What was that? He could have just taken the Frost on the villages and then looked for raids on the villages and the army. Looked for raids into the main base. Maybe even dropped a hill fort down here onto that position. But instead, he throws the entirety of his army away. It completely misses on the Frost. A castle now going to be able to go down. And Pegasus has to be so happy with that position, with his position now. What can he do next? Well, he's just got to think about either going heroic Mythic Age and going potentially for another new moon with the double cast from that Torii Gate, or just grabbing talents and staying in the classic heroic age, going for champion through Bushido just by constantly fighting and seeing how things are going to go. The problem here for Rappel is normally that fight that you take even if you lose it as Norse, it's not the end of the world. It's not good if you lose the fight. Never good to lose a fight, but it's not the end of the world because you can spam myth units. But at the moment, you're up against the Shogun. So spamming out Frost Giants or spamming out Valkyrie here just can't be good for him. And we are actually going to be seeing Watatsumi coming through for Pegasus, which is, I don't know if I would say this is like off meta, because who knows what the meta is at the moment. But this isn't what everyone else is doing with Tsukiyomi. Everyone else is like saying, okay, if I get another Shogun, another Swampland, and another New Moon, that's better than a Mythic Age God Power. That's kind of what they're saying. Watatsumi can absolutely erase an army, though. As Rappel is saying, all right, let's come back, take another fight. We are seeing Pegasus trying to cheese this out a little bit with with the castle out and with the Shogun out and all these samurai. His army looks really, really strong, but he doesn't have the answer against those throwing axemen. I mean, he's got the shinobi, I guess, but he just doesn't have the units here, and he's going to actually struggle to defend this. And he's already advancing. I think he has to just bail on this spot. He's going to try and do some villager defense here against the portable ramp. One idea would be to garrison the samurai into the castle, pop out, use the special ability, and go from there. As that Shogun needs to get in onto something here, needs to be getting damage. You need value here. Onto the thrown axeman is probably your best bet, as he's going to start slicing away. But the army there of Pegasus getting cleaned up. He gets absolutely caught out on this Mythic Age grab. And even though he is Tsukiyomi and he's going to be hitting this Mythic Age faster than everything else, he's still a minute away. I believe it's a minute 30 to get to the Mythic Age as Tsukiyomi. I believe it's a minute 30. I'm not 100% sure. But nonetheless, the village is retreating. He will be able to get some value back here with this God Power, but it's just a huge amount of villager death here. So even if the God Power kills off all of these units, which it might not even, he's still, like, Rappel's still up by double villagers. This game is going to be very tough for Pegasus to bring back, but we'll see how he's going to go. He will have the Shinigami here as well to help out. As the Mythic Age pops, the Shogun charging in. The Dragon comes on top of those units. Huge damage on top, but he barely scrapes the army down. The Shinigami charging after those throwing axemen. Excuse me, the majority, if not every single one of these units does die. That Shinigami does kill off a couple more units. He's got 14 favor in the bank because he hasn't been getting himself the favor in. And in fact, this is a incredibly low favor income Miko, as well as this one portable ram is going to be going after houses over here. But now Rappel, after all of that damage and catching Pegasus with his pants down, going to the Mythic Age there, well, things aren't looking too crash hot for Pegasus at the moment. He's got to rebuild an army. He's got a lot of food in the bank, so he can make a hefty amount of samurai. He can make these Shinigami. Well, he can't really make many of them. I do like the idea of like 2 or 3 Shinigami and sort of Yumi Horse Archer, Samurai type deal. As the hill fort up to the top coming down for the Rappel. He's all over the place here. A couple of great halls are down. And the Rappel is now congregating on this area. Up to the top, we see the Huskal coming through. Going to be slapping a couple of those commoners down. Nice little raid. And Pegasus does say, yeah, he is too far behind here. While he does have gold coming in, he's like, yeah, I'm lost. And this is I think this is a really, really interesting sort of lesson about how you can really punish someone making these sort of decisions. So I like the idea from Pegasus. The idea is, I want to fight. Let me go to the Mythic Age because of this. However, the problem with this is, like, how hard did you win the fight? Did you get any damage onto his economy? Are you harassing while going to the Mythic Age? These things are really important, because if you just let your opponent mass up an army and then they can just attack move through you because you don't have enough units, then, well, you're not going to get that value that you need. Better would probably be, okay, well, I won the fight. Let's drop a town center. Let's go full pop, and let's just play the game out and try and make it work. right? Like, I think Pegasus was in a fantastic position. Just play it slow, town center, army, and go from there. I think he was, my guess is, so if you guys don't know the history here, Pegasus is a Zeus player, and the Zeus game plan, a lot of the time, was to go for, you basically just go one town center, some sort of hoplite toxody sort of idea, take good fights throughout, go heroic age, use your bronze or your underworld to get some value while going to the mythic age, and your lightning storm, then you get out your big Bellerophon to help you along, and you keep on sort of going on that tempo route with the tech advantage and the military advantage. But with Tsukiyomi, you don't have, unless you're going for Cav or Yumi Horse Archers, you don't have that harass ability, or you don't have that big heroic age god power. So, I mean, Shogun is big in itself, but you don't have that big bronze or underworld sort of like harassment idea or pushing threat. So it doesn't quite work. So you have to play a little slower. You've got to go for the town center and make that happen, it looks like. But a really, really interesting game. I mean, the other option here, he could have just kept spamming units and staying in the heroic age and trying to make a push happen in the heroic age rather than going mythic age, or even just go full pop and then go to the mythic age because Rappel was spamming. So a little bit of scouting to see what was going on, and then maybe you're good to go. But anyways, really well played game from Rappel here with his Odin. This is definitely one of his best gods, so good to see him repping it in this tournament. Pegasus almost found a win here. I love the strategy. I love the idea. I would have liked to see some archers in the mix here. Archers against, at the moment, I'd say archers against general infantry are not the best for Japan or just in general, to be honest. Which is funny to say, but I do think they're really good against things like Thrown Axemen, things like Hippaspis, things like Axemen. Any of the counter infantry, I think that the archers are doing a really good job in, and I think it would have been a really nice addition here, especially since he went through Hachiman. He gets an extra 25, is it 25% or 20% or something? Hang on, or is it 10%? Where is it? I can't remember this one here. You get an extra 10% damage, and you get 25% on the myth units. And he also had this one here for the cavalry, which would have boosted his Yumi Horse Archer's 10% hit points as well. So he could have gone into Yumi Horse Archer for sure, and that would have been a nice little addition. But nonetheless, if you enjoyed the game and you want to see more, make sure you check out the full video. It's in the description box below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.